Chelsea have announced the signing of Naomi Girma from San Diego Wave. The American international joins for $1.1 million, a fee that shatters the world transfer record. In this video, we discuss whether Girma warrants that price tag, what makes her so special, and how close the transfer puts Chelsea to Champions League glory. This is our analysis of Chelsea signing Naomi Girma. Alright, let's talk about Naomi Girma then. A potentially world record breaking transfer fee. It seems like it's a very close deal now. It's all but done. Chelsea signing Naomi Girma for $1.1 million. That translates to about £890,000. I think the big question to start, Harry, is she worth that world record fee?
Yes, that is for me. That is a simple answer. She is one of the best defenders, if not the best defender in the world right now. It's it's a huge signing. You're coming over from the NWSL to the WSL. It's always going to be a big fee, and I think for Girma as well. She deserves to go for that kind of money. She is a top player, and it speaks volumes of how high her ability is that she is going for such a huge fee.
Yeah, well, your response there echoes the one that I put in my own notes, just in block capitals. Yes, I think it's undoubted her quality. We saw, there's a great quote from Emma Hayes speaking at the Olympics, who described her as the best defender I've ever seen. I've never seen a player better as a centre-back. And such high praise from a person who, obviously, as Chelsea fans, we consider very highly. And I think the world of women's football should consider very highly. Her opinion, and I think that it's clear for anyone who's watched a lot of football. Naomi Girma is a top talent, and in case you are undoubted on that, in case you have doubts, we have an FBref profile to look at, of course. So we'll put that on screen now. As you can see, a lot of her in-possession statistics are very, very good. Ranks in the 82nd percentile for progressive passes at 4.84 per 90, 89th percentile for progressive carries, 1.05 per 90, 93rd percentile for passes completed, 69.83 per 90. And again, we know Chelsea like to have possessions, so that's a really useful statistics. Her tackles at 1.50 per 90, ranks in the 56th percentile. That's really strong as well. Ranks high for blocks, 74th percentile, 1.4 per 90. 82nd percentile for clearances as well, which is interesting. It's not a statistic that you'd associate with top defenders, but gets the ball out well, 4.99 per 90. And then as well, ball recovery, 6.59 per 90, ranking in the 85th percentile. So she's one of the top defenders in the world, if not arguably the best defender in the world right now. I think if you consider some of those other options, it's difficult because we don't see them often in direct competition. I think with her coming across to Europe now, we'll be able to compare her to the likes of Mape Leon, to Paredes, to Engen, obviously all at Barcelona. Everyone who plays for Barcelona, really. Obviously, Magdalene Eriksson at Bayern Munich, Wendy Renard at Lyon, though that's a bit of an unfair comparison given Renard is now 36. But yeah, I think, and anyway, Renard is fantastic, so unfair on Girma, really, to compare her to her great. But I think Girma is in that conversation, and for Chelsea, it feels like a really smart transfer. She's 24 years old, so that age profile is exactly what you'd want. Because you're thinking now, if she signs now, you're getting possibly 10 years out of her if she has the longevity of some of the other top defenders in the world. So I think it's a really good bit of business from Chelsea. My big question is, how close are Chelsea to win the UWCL, and is Girma a huge factor in that?
I think she is. What makes her so good is the fact that as you read out all those statistics there, she can do everything, and to be
very well rounded.
And to have that level of ability at 24 is absolutely incredible. It's it's why the fee is so high, because you've got a well-rounded defender who is a world-class defender who her consistency is incredible, and it's just a player that you just see, if anything, she's getting better. And with the longevity, as you say, you maybe potentially got a world-class defender there for potentially a decade. That is a brilliant piece of business. In terms of how good she's going to make this Chelsea squad, it's absolutely crucial. I think that obviously Chelsea currently in a situation where they've only got 3 first-team centre-halves, and when you've got Kadisha Buchanan and Millie Bright who are potentially extending their contracts, but are also getting towards the end of their careers
Buchanan's only 27. So I think she's out at the moment with an ACL injury, and that will always be a concern of how she'll recover from that. But there could still be another few years in there. Obviously, Millie Bright is now over the hill of 30. She's 32, 33, I believe. So
yeah,
obviously that's a big player that Chelsea will be looking to fill that gap. And I think we've always said Girma is the perfect successor there. I mean, she profiles very similarly to Millie Bright, a very big physical defender. I think the difference is Girma's a lot quicker. That, again, we speak about that well-roundedness. She's very quick, but she's also very big. So you've got that physicality, you've got that presence, you've got that aerial threat, you've got that height, but you've also got someone who can cover large spaces, who can recover balls very well. So, as we say, very, very well-rounded player. And I think we've spoken a lot about those quantitative qualities, but there are those qualitative as well. And that's, I think, what's more important to focus on when talking about how close are Chelsea to the Champions League. We're bringing in Naomi Girma, who is, a natural leader, who has an incredible mentality, who is incredibly composed in and out of possession, looks unflappable really in the face of danger. And so I think some of those qualitative quantities, those things that you can't really put numbers to or attributes to, but you can talk about as part of Girma's game, are really important. And I think that again justifies that price tag. It's someone that can come in and be that leader. It's someone that can come in and succeed Millie Bright, and it should be a fairly like for like replacement in theory.
Yeah, it's Girma's a player that has that winning mentality, and most recently a gold medalist at the Olympics and things like that. And that, I mean, the Emma Hayes quote for me says it all. For Emma Hayes to say that she's the best defender that she's ever seen, when Emma has coached the likes of Millie Bright and Magdalene Eriksson and even Kadisha Buchanan more recently.
But even harking back, she worked with Arsenal sides who won Champions League.
That's huge. It's a huge compliment, and it speaks volumes of where Girma's game is at right now. And it not only is she a good player in her own right, but it also means that you speak about the lack of pace for Millie Bright and the lack of pace for Kadisha Buchanan. It means that you can still play those two and be absolutely okay, because you can have Millie Bright and Naomi Girma together if you want, and you've got Millie Bright's physical attributes, her leadership, her incredible defensive ability. But if there is a foot chase on, you've got Naomi Girma coming round to cover her, and it doesn't really matter that Bright isn't going to catch them. And that is huge for Chelsea, because Girma comes in and it feels like that she manages to almost plaster over so many different the Chelsea team has few holes, but Girma comes in and fills all the remaining ones, you feel, and that sets Chelsea up to be a very complete team. And then that is what that's why a lot of people speak about how Girma does get Chelsea closer to winning that UWCL, because she does make the Chelsea lineup look pretty much perfect.
Well, that's the thing. I don't think you can ever say with 100% certainty that a transfer will work. But it does just feel that it can't possibly go wrong. Naomi Girma is such a talented player that she may not be as good as expected, but it doesn't feel like a transfer that can go horribly wrong. That's how good she is. And when you're spending that amount of money, when you're breaking the world record, that is exactly what you want from a player that you would say with almost certainty that it's the right fit, that she will be able to slot into this side and play at the top level. And that's exactly what Chelsea need. Those ready-made superstars. We've spoken a lot about how the difference between Chelsea and Barcelona is that while Barcelona just scattergun and buy all the best players, Chelsea's recruitment in recent years, at least, has been to sign a lot of younger players. Now, obviously, the summer, that is Sondy Baltimore. I thought that was a really good addition of one of those players who is probably not quite in that world-class bracket, but in the bracket below. But Naomi Girma's definitely in that top bracket, and that's the sort of recruitment Chelsea need to make. And when you consider there's been a lot of statements over January, but Chelsea hold interest in Trinity Rodman and in Sophia Smith with a view of making a move either this summer or when Rodman's contract expires next January. So there's two huge opportunities there, and that's the kind of players Chelsea are looking at now. Sakina Kaichawi, another one, and Lily Johannes, the young US star playing for Ajax. So a lot of Chelsea recruitment now looking at those world-class players, or pretty much guaranteed to be world-class players. And I think it's a really nice mix now in recruitment of signing those top players, but also signing young players that have that huge potential. I think Julia Bartel over the summer was one of those. I think Villa Berman, who is joining now, though I think she's still on loan at 20 for the second half of the season, but is joining for this January and then going back on loan. But that's another huge signing. And I think Chelsea have done really well with those additions. So, yeah, I think Chelsea recruitment looks really good. Bowley's investment in the women's side, arguably more than Abramovich's was, which feels mental to say, because Abramovich very much got Chelsea and that women's side to that position of being the best team in England. But Bowley's taken that one step further. He wants to go and win the Women's Champions League. And I think that's so crucial. There's a clear investment from Chelsea's owners, which we don't really see across the league. Even at Arsenal and Manchester City, who are right up there, and especially at Manchester United, there isn't really that same level of owners being involved, of owners wanting to invest. There's a clear drive from Chelsea's ownership to push Chelsea to be the best women's team. They see the opportunity for growth there. They see the opportunity for development, and if you're watching the women's game, you can see the huge opportunities that are going to come up in the next few years. And I think Chelsea are in a really good position now.
Yeah, and it's good for the game as well. To break the $1 million kind of transfer, I think that was always a target that was going to be hit eventually, and Chelsea have done that, and that, it's always good to see for the game. It's another step in the women's game developing and the women's game growing. For the WSL's sake, they're probably a bit frustrated, especially if you're the likes of Arsenal and City, because it's like
the Arsenal fans that have been calling it corruption and greed and stuff. I understand why that would be frustrating to see Chelsea competing with the Europe elite for transfers and seeing Chelsea going and being ambitious with who they're signing, but it's not greed and it's not like it's corruption.
Nothing wrong with it. It's a transfer.
They're spending the money that the club is giving them. I mean, if Arsenal want to do the same, or if Arsenal's owners would allow them to do the same, they would do the same.
Yeah.
And so I think rather than focusing on what Chelsea are doing, it's that internal push for more investment. I think. But equally, asking Stan Kroenke for more money is like Oliver Twist asking for more food. It's not going to happen. But yeah, I think it's a very good signing for Chelsea.
Yeah, very much so. It's going to make the league even more. It's going to make it very hard, basically, for the other WSL clubs to compete for the league. But it potentially opens a door if it does show that Chelsea are going to switch their focus to the UWSL. The problem it creates though is that
it does push those other clubs to invest, and we've seen City go for Kerry in this window. That's a big bit of investment. We saw Arsenal bid 1.1 million for Kira Walsh on deadline day in the summer, so there is a sign that there's money there to spend. It's just when are they going to start putting those big transfers up? I mean, when they're going to be able to attract those world-class players. And obviously Chelsea have that pull that Arsenal don't. Arsenal were interested in Naomi Girma, but if it's a toss-up between the two right now, not many people are picking Arsenal over Chelsea. Yeah. So I think it's difficult for Arsenal and City, but equally money talks. If they wanted to go and get those players, they could.
Yeah, City, Arsenal, the owners aren't going to take it. That's not going to notice them. If they give away £1 million, that's nothing compared to what they're currently investing into the
100th of a Declan Rice could have got you Naomi Girma.
And that's the thing. But Stan Kroenke's not going to do that. So I feel for United because they might get £10 off Sir Jim Ratcliffe if they're lucky.
No, they'll have to pay £10.
Yeah. It's tough, and I think that's why I get the frustration from other fans, because it's frustrating to see Chelsea's owners be like, yeah, take all this money and go and buy who you want for Bon Pastor. But for their managers and their clubs, their owners are very much keeping their... But to be fair, City have made 3 or 4 transfers this January and are looking to invest. Other clubs haven't even opened their purse. But that's a shame. But for Chelsea and for the women's game to break that £1 million transfer and to bring in Naomi Girma it's a great deal, and it's good. Yeah. It's good to see.
It's a reason why I think talking on that investment from owners. It's a reason I think London City Lionesses could be about to shake up the women's game, because Michelle Kang's mission to own all of the footballers that have ever played could lead her to investing massively in that squad. And if they are to get into the WSL next season, or if they can get promoted this year, which they are only a couple of points off Birmingham now, and that could go down to the wire, I think if they are to get into WSL, suddenly that may just kick other teams into gear.
Yeah.
Because if they're seeing this team come into WSL, investing millions in their playing squad, because that's what they've done in the Championship.
Ridiculous.
So you think there'll be that same, if not more, investment in the WSL. Suddenly, I think that may just kick some other teams into gear.
Yeah, London City Lionesses are one. I mean, the fact they went and got, is it Jocelyn? I can't remember his name now. The PSG manager, how they've done that to get but you've got London City Lionesses who are investing loads. Birmingham, who currently
Saki Kuma guys just joined them.
That's ridiculous,
outrageous.
Birmingham now top of the Women's Championship. Suddenly, these American owners come in and they're spending big, and as you say, that is gonna push the WSL clubs to start putting more money into it.
And there's going to be a push now as well to extend the WSL
Very much
because you've got so much investment coming into the Championship. But I think if there were more relegation spots, those WSL clubs would have to act.
Yeah.
Because teams this season, like West Ham, like Aston Villa, will probably be all right without investing.
Yeah.
And Leicester may get away with not having a striker all season if Crystal Palace go back down. But if you've got a couple teams coming up and a couple teams going down, suddenly those clubs have got to invest. Because if not, their teams are just going to go down to the Championship and then flounder in there. Because the investment for the clubs coming through the pyramid now is greater, especially in the case of Birmingham and London City.
They're flying, and this is why I like when these big transfers happen, because it does raise questions and it does once again highlight the obviously the positivities of investment, but also the issues of the lack of investment. But it's a really good sign to see these. That's the thing. That's the literal pros and cons. Is that it's disappointing to see that these clubs currently in the WSL aren't investing as much. But it's great to see the clubs lower down the pyramid who are coming through and benefiting off the fact that they've got loads of money because Michelle Kang is just bankrolling London City Lionesses and leading them to glory. That's what you want to see. As much as she is building this incredible dynasty across the world, it's going to grow
Empire of
again.
football clubs.
Dominating each continent.
That's the thing. I can't decide yet if she's on the dark or light side. Is she the big supervillain in the women's game, or is she a superhero? I'm not sure. But either way, she makes the sport very interesting. On Girma, though, as this video is on, fantastic player. It just, as I say, it feels like a signing that can't go wrong. And for $1.1 million, you would bloody hope it doesn't. So, it's a big bit of investment, and it's a very good addition for Chelsea. I think it definitely puts them very close now to Barcelona and Lyon, if not on that level. And so when we're getting down now to the knockouts in the Champions Leagues, I think it makes it very exciting. I think it's a game-changing signing for Chelsea. So exciting times.
Yeah, and the concern will be for those other clubs, which is good for Chelsea, is that if Bowley has now proven that he is happy to throw money at Bombastor and say, go buy who you want. And if he gives Bombastor another $1 million, she could go out and buy anyone. And exactly. Go get Rodman, go get whoever you want, and suddenly Chelsea could build this incredible team because Bowley's willing to invest. And credit to him, because he doesn't get credit for many things, but he's doing well, and he's allowed Bombastor to go and get this huge transfer that could potentially change Chelsea's fortunes in Europe.
It's worth saying as well, it looks like Perisic may be a bargaining chip in the fact that it looks like she'll go the other way, which I think is a good move for her because she's not been used by Sonia Bompastor. And good opportunity for her to actually get some minutes. And Chelsea don't need her. They've got Lawrence and they've got Lucy Bronze. And I think Perisic is a very good defender, but is she a Champions League winning one? Probably not. So I think it's a good deal for all parties, apart from San Diego Wave.
Yes.
Who have lost Naomi Girma. But it is a nice compensatory.
And they look to be in for a good season anyway with Idaval over there. And
I think Idaval will do well.
Yeah.
I think people, there's so much disrespect on Idaval's name, but I think he will do well out there. That, though, does round up our video today looking at Naomi Girma to Chelsea. If you have enjoyed, do get involved in the comments down below. Give us your thoughts. If you're just an excited Chelsea fan, spam some capital letters down there as you just let out your excitement if you want. So do get involved in the comments down below. If you're new to the channel, make sure to hit subscribe. And if you want to watch more of the video on screen now, I'm not sure when this is going out. It'll be whenever Girma's announced. So there'll be a relevant video on the screen now. But that is everything from us today. Thank you guys very, very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
See ya.